We here at the Gyro Step Podcast love real hoops, and we've been deprived of that for the last week. The play-in tournament is going on. This has been nasty stuff, and I would like to start this podcast, Gyro Step Podcast. I'm Ty Windisch. I'm joined by Rohan Katti, who I'm apologizing to. You were adamant that the Bucks were going to sweep in the first round, and I said no. I mean, before the play-in, man, I was like, the Grizzlies have the Lakers have the Grizzlies number, and the Heat are going to beat the Hawks and maybe push the Celtics. You know, it turns out 82 games is a pretty good sample, and if you can't get above 7 in either conference, there's probably a reason. And we saw the reasons that these teams are just not very good. Miami barely holds on to beat Chicago in Miami to be the Bucks' first-round opponent. But Rohan, I have to start this by apologizing. You were right. Bucks in 4. We're going to preview the series. It's Friday night. I mean, what is there to say, Rohan? Hello, welcome. How you doing, everything else?
I'm doing great. Happy 414 day.
Yes.
We're recording this after the game, directly after the game on Friday. Doing well. Appreciate the apology. It's welcome to the good side, Ty.
Yeah.
Because the play-in has been fun, right? Like it's been fun. You've had some good games.
They've been good games. It's been a good tournament for sure.
They've been close games.
Yes.
I'll say that.
For a reason.
Yeah. It's almost like putting teams of equal sort of record-ish against each other is going to yield close games. However, that does not necessarily mean that these teams are any good. Because what we witnessed in this play-in tournament is just, like you said, 82 games is a good enough sample because we're seeing why these teams are in these low seeds and why they're in the play-in tournament in the first place. First, let's talk about the Miami Heat against the Atlanta Hawks. So
that was the worst game of the bunch, by the way.
It was. The Atlanta Hawks, Todd.
Mid.
The Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
Went into Miami after Jimmy Butler guaranteed a win.
He needs to stop with these quotes. You remember the infamous one before Bucks Heat.
Oh, which one? Oh, what was that?
He's stupidly locked in.
Oh, stupidly locked in. And so Atlanta goes into Miami on their home court.
Yeah.
Just straight up starts thumping them.
The former FTX arena.
Yes, it's
pretty fitting arena sponsor for the Miami Heat, to be quite honest with you.
It is, because they're frauds.
Yeah.
And actually, no. Here's the thing. They can't be frauds because they're not meant to be any good because they're the 7 seed in the Eastern Conference time. The Eastern Conference, the top-heavy Eastern Conference, which leads the bottom half to be in the absolute doldrums, which is why you see a team like Atlanta be able to go into Miami, out-muscle, out-physical. They should have had UD out there.
No, I said this. I said
Heat
that.
Culture, one of the best tweets I saw from this play-in tournament is some Heat fans saying they have a chance against the Bucks because they've got culture. And someone replied and said, culture just lost to Atlanta by double digits. Atlanta's bad. Atlanta, their starting center isn't even 6'10".
Yeah.
And they went out there and they pulled Miami's pants down and got all the rebounds that they needed.
It sounds like you are watching Succession. That seemed like it was going to Succession direction for a second. Yeah.
They out-physicaled the Miami Heat, Ty, and you expect me to believe. Yeah. You expect me to believe, Ty, that this Miami Heat team has any chance against the Milwaukee Bucks. They got out-physical by the Atlanta Hawks. I'm pounding my desk right now. That's why I'm shaking.
I was arguing for Atlanta in 5. I want to be clear. And that take looks decent now because they did. That's the only play-in game where they just kicked their ass the whole game. Every other game, there's been a big lead, big comeback, everything else. Again, I want to make it clear. It's not like we did a pod with Jordan. I don't even remember what the occasion was now. I've had to watch
It was after they clinched the
1 seed. I had to watch all these mediocre damn games, bad teams. But Atlanta was the only team. Every other game has been like up and down, topsy-turvy. I'll tell you what. Bam Adebayo is
the mid-range assassin himself, Ty.
He had a really bad game against Atlanta, and I said, okay, he's going to bounce back against Chicago. Not a great defensive. They've been a good defensive team this year by the numbers, but individual defender-wise, outside of Alex Caruso, who John Hollinger, noted failed evaluator of talent, said is the best perimeter defender in the NBA. Someone point out the lie if you want to. I'm not seeing it. Caruso. I'm sick of hearing about Caruso. He's gone now, thankfully. But outside of Caruso, they don't really have a standout individual defender on the Bulls. Bam was 1 for 9 against Nikola Vucevic.
And Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond went into that game changer, and he punked Bam Adebayo. Andre Drummond, the man who somehow still is not 30 years old, by the way.
That's crazy.
They
don't have 2 stars. Can we end that? Can we dead that officially? You don't have 2 stars if you're a play-in team who doesn't get out of the play-in, or they did barely. If you have a negative point differential in the fucking play-in tournament, you don't have 2 stars. That does not compute.
You don't.
That's not how it works.
If you have 2 stars, why the fuck are you in 7?
And again,
they lost a game
differential in the play-in
tournament. They lost a game in the play. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely good thing those play-in stats don't count.
These next 4 games will count, and I'm saying we'll say it early. Bucks in 4, and I said before to give me some confidence, credence here, and I do think there's people who will probably comment on the YouTube or on Twitter and say, "Oh, this is a jinx. You shouldn't do this." This is not a jinx. This is a good prediction. Because we've seen this series 2 years ago, and we saw what happened. I think the Bucks are better now. The Heat are worse now.
The Heat are absolutely worse.
They don't have enough players. Kyle Lowry had the big game, the first game. They lost by double digits, and he was not good against Chicago.
They had to have Kevin Love come in, and they nearly killed the guy.
Yeah. They're very small. They're very bad. So I'm Bucks in 4. We can get it out up front.
Yeah, Bucks in 4.
We can talk about the matchup.
Easy.
But, I mean, if they lose a game, it's not the end of the world. I would be disappointed, though. I think the talent and the matchup is fiercely in favor of the Bucks. And this is why I said earlier, I think you guys looked at me like I was crazy a little bit. I said out of the 4 or whatever, how many play-in teams there could be, Miami was my favorite because the spacing is so damn bad. And that's just a non-starter against the Bucks. And we saw the Bucks had that horrible game, the 2021 playoff run. They won a championship that year. That's not even relevant to this conversation. I just like to talk about it. They did win the championship that year. I watched a clip of Giannis Finals highlights on Twitter today. I couldn't click out of it. I was stuck there. He's him. I'm excited to watch him play again. But they had that horrible game against the Heat. Everything goes right for Miami. And the Heat lose. And from there, the series was done. It was over after that. And I think there was a little bit more apprehension. I don't want to say fear, but a little bit more apprehension from that Bucks team. Like, oh, first round Miami, we've seen what they've done to us. How is this going to go? I think that's gone. I think they're going to walk in there and just go, yeah, we're better. You guys aren't good. We're just going to go end this.
The mystique around the Heat is gone. It's gone. You can have Jimmy Butler as your fun 5th place MVP vote, but it's not going to mean anything because the guy, he had a really good game by his standards, and he averages, his
31 points. 31 points, good game.
Yeah, it's less than Giannis' season average, but
that's true.
He's not even close to the best. Is he the 3rd best player in the series? In the series.
Yeah, I hear you.
In a vacuum, I'd say he's the 2nd best player in a vacuum.
Oh, yeah, he'll look like the 3rd best player at best in this series. He does not look good in this matchup. This is not a good matchup for him.
No, he doesn't, because you put Giannis on him and dare him to shoot. And
Brook behind, and Brook doesn't ever have to leave the paint, and that's the problem for Miami. Brook never has to leave the paint in this series, and that's just a non-starter for scoring points if you can't shoot. And newsflash, if you put someone on Strus and someone on Hero, the Heat cannot shoot.
Yeah, the way that the Heat have sort of gotten good shots up against Milwaukee in the past has been dynamic guard play. You've had Duncan Robinson kill them in the bubble. You had
did not log a minute in this game, by the way.
No, of course. Why would you? you had Goran Dragic doing good things against the Bucks in the bubble, and even in the 2021 series as well. Dragic was the leading force behind Miami actually keeping it close somehow until he got upset and started. I forget he's on the team, man.
I know.
I was about to say until he was like being mean to Chris Middleton. And then it's like, oh yeah, these guys are teammates now.
Yeah.
They have the ghost of Kyle Lowry's ass on their team, who, like
he
you
wasted
mentioned,
the good game. He wasted it.
He had his good game already.
They got
he had his
out.
good game. Who knows where Tyler Hero's dad is going to go in Pfizer for him?
Yeah,
it's going to be like. I don't know. Like Miami, the only reason Miami is in this spot right now is because Max Strus went off.
31. He tied Jimmy. 31 points on 8 less shots than Jimmy.
The Bucks have shown in these last few years that they are now well equipped to handle the roaming sort of guy who's going to be like running off ball and that shooting threat you have to worry about. Now, given is that can be a little bit of an issue considering Chris Middleton was the guy who was really tasked with doing that, and he's been dealing with injuries, even though he should be hopefully good to go for game one. Is he going to be up for that matchup? We shall see. But that is the only way that the Miami Heat will be able to generate any offense. And if that is your only shot, you're dead in the water.
Yeah. I mean,
because they have no spacing. Sorry. They have no spacing with Jimmy. They have no spacing with Bam.
Nope.
You can let Giannis and Brook both roam around the rim.
You're just DOA with that setup. I just.
Oh, and by the way, your dynamic guards, by the way, have to deal with Drew freaking Holiday.
I think this is going to be a big Javon Carter series too.
Yep, who was about to bring up next.
I think especially with the three-headed injury monster of Chris, Pat, Grayson. I almost wonder if Javon could get some starts in this series. We'll see. It wouldn't surprise me if we just saw the normal starting five. But this would be a series that I think makes sense to start Javon. I think either way, he will play quite a bit. Because Miami, the other thing about them, another reason they're a very bad matchup is this is like, I don't even know how you do this in today's NBA. They can't shoot and they're small. And that's such a bad combo. Like, look at this is their 8-man rotation for this play-in game. Gabe Vincent at the 1, didn't make a shot. Tyler Hero, 5 for 12. Max Strus started at the 4, technically. This is per NBA. Really, he's at the 3, and Jimmy was at the 4. But Max Strus, who, again, good shooter if you leave him open. The Bulls are a joke of a franchise. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, who made 1 shot. This was their 3-man bench. Caleb Martin, who played 27 minutes, probably would just get DMPs on the Bucks.
Oh, without a doubt.
He's roughly a Pat Connaughton level player, and Pat's good and struggling to play minutes. Like, just being honest. Kyle Lowry plays 20 minutes in this game, scores 5 points. Kevin Love, 10 minutes. Those were the 8 players they played.
In all seriousness, hope you're doing all right, Kevin.
Did he get hurt?
He hit his head on the court.
Oh, Kevin Love did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even, to be honest with you, Rohan, the only play-in game I seriously watched was Lakers Wolves. I just didn't care about these. I've been
stupidly locked in, but I'm also really excited.
I'm excited too.
The first actual round of the playoffs to start this weekend.
I just don't think I need the tape. I had a little
really
vacation.
To be honest,
feel free to fill me in.
It's a well-deserved.
If I get anything wrong, I want to be honest with the listeners. I'm not going to act like I watched the fourth quarter of this game. I watched the middle of the Miami-Atlanta game. I was like, oh, Miami's got to make a comeback here. And they got to within 10. And then Atlanta just pulled away again. I was like, oh, wow, it's pretty disappointing. I remember, maybe they can challenge Boston. Let's be real. Boston was tearing their asses up. Let's be serious. Yeah. Let's be real analysts. Honestly, a little surprised that all of these players didn't play in this game. I don't know if it was matchup or what. Victor Oladipo, who I felt like was giving them some good defensive stuff. Maybe it's just washed. I know it doesn't really shoot, but it's kind of surprised doesn't play at all. But again, they have all these guards, so I guess I get it. Duncan Robinson, I just feel like, you know how many players tonight made a 3, more than 1 3 besides Max Strus?
More than 1?
Yeah.
It's probably just Kyle Lowry.
None of them.
Oh, none of them?
They made 10 threes. Max Strus made 7 of them. I don't know. I'm just always surprised that Duncan doesn't play a little more. Maybe, I don't know if it's podcast or solidarity or what. And then Cody Zeller, who I thought was giving them some pretty good minutes and does like big man
if
stuff.
If Cody Zeller is your answer in the year of our basketball gods 2023, it's done. It's done.
I get it, Rohan.
Man just said, I'm surprised Cody Zeller isn't getting run. Like,
I mean, look at their bench is weird, by the way. These are the guys. Haslam, Haywood Highsmith, who's basically a 5, yes?
Haywood Highsmith.
He's like a 5? Is he like a 4? Yeah, maybe he's a 4 that doesn't shoot.
Yeah, but it's also just like you're just making up guys at this point. I know Haywood Highsmith.
The last one is Omer Ute 7. It's like, how many big guys who can't shoot do you need on this team? This roster construction sucks.
It does.
Like, this is a fumble. They had a pretty good team, and they just like...
They were the 1 seed in the East last year.
Wow.
They were a shot away from the finals last year.
That's crazy. I feel like Joe Rogan listening to someone spout a conspiracy theory. I just can't even believe it. Wow.
Except mine are actually true.
Jamie, can you look this up? No, I know. It is true. It is true. This is sad. I mean, they're just on such a downward trajectory.
What's so sad about that?
I wish they had a star we wanted.
Oh, that's true. So we can get the revenge.
Yeah. Or just I would like more good players.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true.
Real quick on that note, we have to talk about Spencer Dinwiddie. He clearly wants to play for the Bucks. Did you watch the clip?
Wait, no, I didn't.
Oh my God, he was so the Kuzma. If you don't know about this and you have a healthy life, congratulations. Kyle Kuzma ethered Spencer Dinwiddie.
That's what I saw.
It was a true mid-off on a Twitter thread calling him Spencer Dinwiddie, which is hilarious. Saying he's got the Wizards on. No sentence has ever been funnier than the Wizards occupy real estate on your mind. I think it's true. That's such a sad place to be for Spencer Dinwiddie. But Spencer Dinwiddie went on a FanDuel show.
Oh, and the Drew Holiday thing, right?
Yeah, well, he was like, I can't be the second star, but I could be the third star. And he went into like an extended like Bucks thing, like me on the Bucks, like instead of Drew or instead of Chris or whatever, like I could be there with those guys winning. And I was like, first, no, you're not big 3. You could be a great big 5. You could be the 5th starter. We would take that.
I mean, you could be a 6th man.
I'll take it. I'll call him a 5th man. He's scoring 20. He's had a good year, Spencer Dinwiddie. The rep is taking a hit. I mean, it's tough to just get totally bodied by Kyle Kuzma.
Spencer Dinwiddie is amazing. Like, that's an NBA player's thing.
It's
Kyle Kuzma whipped out his phone. He's like, hold up here. I gotta say something. What's the best thing I could think of? Spencer Dinwiddie.
Dragonfly Jones was like, I think there's ghostwriters. And I replied and I was like, I don't think there's ghostwriters. This has been brewing for months. I think he had a notes app post in his phone. And he would just like think of a new insult and add it and just waited until it was time. What a weird league that we cover and root and I guess support indirectly or directly. Where was I even going? Oh, the Miami Heat. Yeah, just like they're not good.
No. So I guess we can get into a little bit of the matchups.
Yeah.
So
this is I want to apologize. I know usually I think we're pretty locked in on hoop. I think after game 1, we're gonna do we can announce this. We're gonna do post-game pods every game of the playoffs, like we always do. If you've been around, you knew to expect this. But if you forgot or you're new, GSPN crew, we all team up and we will have a post-game pod after every playoff game. I think we'll probably dive more into X's and O's. We will hear a bit, but certainly after game 1 when we get to see the matchups, we'll do the high-level stuff now. But the play-in just made it really difficult because, of course, the Bucks, we didn't know who the Bucks were going to play until like 36 hours before game 1 or whatever. So this will be a little less in-depth than probably the second round where we'll do a better preview of the games. But again, we don't expect this to be a hard-fought series. If it is, there's a big problem. Also, I believe 99% sure we're doing playback for game 1. So if you never joined us for playback, be sure to go to gspn.info, join the Gyro Step Discord. You will get a notification when we are live, but make sure to join us for that. It will be a barrel of laughs. It'll be very fun.
Yeah, it'll be a great time as always. Looking forward to that. But here's where we run into a little bit of an issue here. Is like we don't know what the starting lineup is going to be like for the Milwaukee Bucks, because even though we got news that Chris, Grayson, and Pat all practiced on Thursday? Or is that today?
Today's Friday.
No, but was
I think
that
they
yesterday?
practiced Thursday, is what we heard.
Okay. So either Friday or Thursday. They were full participants in practice, which is great news. That's amazing news. And I think Bud said they hopefully should be able to play game one. That's the hope. Which is great. You love to see it. You love to see that these are not going to be consistently nagging injuries that are going to hold these guys out for long periods of time. They've had time off because of the play-in. They clinched early and were able to sit their guys the last two games, get their guys a lot of rest, get them ready. And I think I forget which player it was said that the practices that they've had are like the most intense they've had since post All-Star break,
Maybe
which is
Drew?
just great. Maybe
I don't remember who it would be.
I don't
that was out there for sure.
But that was something I love to hear. Like, this team is on a mission. They know they cannot come out here and be sort of loosey-goosey about it, take this serious. Because, again, the Heat, even though we've been clowning them, rightfully so, they've been playing basketball. They've been playing high-intensity basketball these last... I mean, technically they have.
They've been playing... It's true. I can't argue.
They've been playing basketball. We know Bud loves to say...
I was going to say, that was very brutal.
They've been playing 5-on-5. The Bucks have not been doing that.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little understandable to see a little rust from the Bucks players coming in, and even though it's good to know that they're going hard in practice to sort of prepare for what is going to be an intense first round series, because Miami is nothing if not annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think matchup wise, as we mentioned, not even just to be flippant, it's just very favorable for the Bucks. I mean, we have the blueprint of Giannis on Jimmy and just sagging, and there's going to be a game where Jimmy hits like 2 threes, and we all kind of, is he going to shoot threes again? He just won't shoot them again. He just kind of stopped shooting them. Honestly, a pretty disappointing thing, especially given the team around him for the Heat, that he just doesn't really do that anymore. But 0 for 2 in the second play-in game, although he did make a lot of shots, but the Bulls just don't have the caliber of defenders that Milwaukee has. So Bam starting at center. We know it's going to be Brook. We know Brook is going to let Bam shoot. Sometimes Bam does make those middies that the rest of the GSPN crew makes fun of me for. He has not lately, which is really bad. But we've seen the last game, I think Bucks Heat, he made a ton of those. Like, he was on fire from the mid-range. It didn't matter. Like, that's not enough points to keep up with what Milwaukee's able to do on the offensive end, especially this season where their offense has kind of ramped up into higher gear post-Chris with Ingles also out there. So that's Miami's best 2 players. The matchups there are great. As you mentioned, you've got Javon Carter and Drew Holiday to guard Tyler Hero. That's also great. Like, Tyler Hero's not a big enough or strong enough player that he's out of Javon's size range, which means the Bucks have 2 amazing defenders to throw at him, which is, again, terrific. Also, you look at a guy like Jay Crowder, can be the second wave on Jimmy. That's terrific. On the other end, who's guarding Giannis?
Jay Crowder revenge series as well.
That's true. Who's guarding Giannis?
What I think they do...
Didn't they start Kevin Love last time?
Yeah. Because they were still starting Kevin Love and he was a part of their rotation. It's going to be tough. But what I think they will probably end up doing is probably going Jimmy on Giannis.
Yeah, because I just think with the way
you can't put Bam on him.
The way the Bucks have featured Brook this season, I think that's a Brook 2020 game.
I wouldn't be shocked if they did start Bam on Giannis and try and see if they can get away with putting Jimmy on Brook.
I wonder if they do Jimmy on Drew. I think they'd have to move Caleb Martin back to the starters and try him. Usually, you can't put Gabe Vincent or Max Strus on Brook.
It wouldn't shock me if they tried it though, just to see if they can get away with it.
I hope the Bucks would do that. Go to that right away.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. If you're Mike Budenholzer, if you're anyone on the team, you have to recognize, hey, this is an obvious mismatch. Let's just do this. Let's do this all game. Hey, Brooke, get post position. Hey, we'll give you a good entry pass. It doesn't even have to be a good entry pass. He's bigger than everyone on the team.
Yeah.
Just throw it up near the big guy, and that's an entry pass.
Brooke, just don't lower the ball, and you're good.
Brooke, just don't bring it down. Keep your elbows in, and it's fine.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we already talked about it.
Don't put ball in basket. It's that Steve Nash meme coaching the Nets. It's like, hey, except it's Brooke, put ball in basket.
This could be Giannis could average like 18 points per game in this series.
Yeah, because he's going to be averaging 25 minutes.
Well, yeah, and I just, I do think the Heat are pretty good at defending Giannis. If if it's Jimmy or Bam and they're sending some help at the nail and all that, they can do that pretty well. I don't think it's totally a misnomer or like a misleading that Giannis doesn't score a ton against them. But I think that's why it's a team game and Giannis doesn't have to. And there's no reason, like Giannis should not have to put his head down and bowl through Jimmy and Bam. He could do that to some extent and find some success. He shouldn't have to because you look at every other matchup and it's heavy in Milwaukee's favor if the Heat are doing that. So yeah, I think I would take the under on Giannis's points in every game, but I think that's fine. Like that's totally fine. And
his assist number, I'd take the over on his assist numbers because Here's the thing. In previous years, like going back to the bubble, the way that Miami was defending Giannis and the way they will continue to defend Giannis is just, send multiple guys, try to make him be a playmaker, have the rest of the team beat you. In previous years where they've been unsuccessful, is that the Bucks have been relying on shooters. They've just been relying on like, okay, can you go and hit a three? And the Bucks are still going to need their guys to hit shots. But the Bucks are more well-equipped because their guys are more equipped at getting to the rim. Drew Holiday this season has been a master. And not only his shot, if that translates, again, big if, knock on wood, if that translates, that's going to be a huge thing and, nothing else really matters. But his way of getting to the rim, navigating to the rim, finishing at the rim has been very, very key. He can do that. Grayson Allen he's made strides this season as a guy who can provide rim pressure. Pat Connaughton in the past, maybe not so much this season, has been a guy who's been a slasher. Jay Crowder has been a guy who's shown that, hey, he can do stuff like off the catch, off the bounce. Like, can he attack closeouts? That's what this Bucks team is more well-equipped to do because in previous years, like I mentioned, they were just relying on, okay, Giannis, can you pass to an open shooter, hit shot? But now these guys are going to be able to do more and just kill the Heat in many more ways. It's not a perfect meme. It works better for the Suns, but it's just going to be the meme of that guy holding a gun at the sun.
I also think you look at years past where they had somewhat more success, and there was a Jay Crowder, even a PJ Tucker to guard Giannis. And I think without that, I mean, if they have to go to Jimmy, right, because Brooke is just too much of a problem, that's one of your two offensive guys. And having that player have to be undersized guarding. I mean, he was in this game. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Jimmy's good. This is a horrible matchup for him. Jimmy's a great player. But having him guard Giannis, giving up all that size, like, that's not conducive to that player having an efficient offensive series at all. So and also one other Bucks advantage I want to highlight. Milwaukee's going to be bigger the whole time because one of Brooke or Giannis goes out and Bobby comes in. And Bobby's in position to eat. Miami is a bottom half rebounding team by rebounding percentage. Their defensive rebounding has been fourth in the league. But I have to imagine Bobby Portis is going to be able to find some offensive rebounds against this tiny Heat team. And if Miami the problem for Miami here is
the Hawks did it, Ty. Of course the Bucks can do it. The Hawks just freaking won the game doing that.
Yeah, Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu, who are good big rebounders.
Bro, DeJounte Murray was doing it.
Yeah. All the Heat's counters suck. What? If they go big, they're playing Cody Zeller.
Hey, where's UD when you need him?
I think they should have saved the UD game for the play, and they needed it more. I mean, they're going to bring in Omar Ute-7 to change the game?
No, not Omar.
Kevin Love?
Kevin Love is known to hit his threes against the Bucks.
I'm sorry, if you play Kevin Love against Giannis, you don't deserve to. I don't even know. They should lose the MLE.
Giannis might not like put him in the basket. He'll score, but
he'll just walk around him.
Shout out to the Laurie Nickel piece.
Yeah,
the Journal Sentinel.
It was a tremendous piece. Kevin Love has done a lot for removing the stigma of mental health in the NBA. And I respect and appreciate him for that. I respect
and I love Kevin Love for that, but
Giannis is walking around him and dunking the basketball. I'm sorry. That's what's going to happen. He's just going to, see ya. I really appreciate your contributions. Dunk, jogs back. Thanks again. Not even being disrespectful. That's exactly how it would play out. It's true. It's all true. I'm not even trying to be shitty.
You're not.
He did good things. He's not going to do good things in this series. Both can be true.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting.
They're gonna lose game one. Everyone's gonna dunk on us. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
If they lose game one, they'll win in 5. We're allowed to be confident. The Bucks are the best team in the league by record, by eye test, by ball test,
by having the best player in the league.
Yeah. They should be relatively healthy. Knock on wood some more.
It's wild that the Bucks have gotten the 1 seed and the play-in tournament is the thing, and there's no like scary, quote unquote scary teams lurking in the balance.
Yeah, we're used to you're gonna run into KD as a top 2 seed, like not.
It
this
happened
year.
the last time the Bucks played the Heat, Ty.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying there was a narrative like, oh my god, the Heat. Can they push the Bucks in round 1? No.
I mean,
they got swept.
We should have really known, and no disrespect to these players, but that they couldn't catch the Mikal Bridges, Nick Claxton Nets over half a season. I think the book was kind of out there. I think the writing was kind of on the wall that these teams are just not serious actors.
They were, what were they, 6 games above 500? 6.
Yeah.
The Bucks were 34 games above 500.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the blueprint to things going right for Miami is, of course, Strus and Hero and Vincent. Yeah, just railing threes. But the thing about it for this matchup is the Heat kind of had a game like that or a game or two like that last time they played the Bucks in the playoffs. And that was Milwaukee's bad 3-point shooting defense, and it still didn't matter. And the Bucks have taken away the threes this year. And maybe they'll have a pretty good shooting variance game, but we haven't seen too many games since they changed the defense where the threes totally kill the Bucks. There was the Memphis and the Celtics game where they just ran the Bucks out of the building, and part of that was 3-point shooting. But also those teams were just like totally on fire, and the Bucks just didn't have it those nights. I just can't see a team like Miami doing that. I mean, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong or point out a game I know Charlotte killed the Bucks that one game too, but it wasn't like the Bucks 3-point shooting defense. I feel like there was a couple times this year where they just didn't play well and a team came in red hot and beat the crap out of them. I just don't know how many lesser shooting teams have been able to really have a game like that and just win that way outside of the 3 I said, and 2 of those were great teams. And the Hornets weirdly got kind of good for like a month anyway. But regardless, I don't know. I wouldn't be totally floored if the Bucks lost 1 game. I will say that. Like, my call is Bucks in 4. Wouldn't be stunned. I would be shocked. There's so many things going against Miami, though.
Yeah, we just have to hope that the Bucks do not like catch a whiff of the Miami.
Yeah, flu.
Yeah,
a lot of days off between games 2 and 3.
But they
probably won't go down until they're old.
They're too disciplined.
Yeah,
old.
They're old.
they got to be parents. A lot of them.
Do you think Javon Carter's just in the club, like sitting, thinking about press defense in the corner?
No, he doesn't drink though. His mom.
That's true. You're right. He does not drink. That tracks. I think I'm sure he's a fun guy. We talked to him. We had a great time. I just picture him sitting at home like under a waterfall and just thinking about defense. That's my head. Just
finding ways to like how can I thinking about angles for stealing the ball.
Literally just like thinking about, okay, Tyler Hero steps here, I step there. Like just totally locked in. Not stupidly, smartly locked in.
Yeah. Smartly locked in. Javon's that guy. And the Bucks are primed for a lot of revenge series. We got Dragic.
Yeah.
We got Jay Crowder. We got Myers Leonard.
I was gonna ask if two of those guys would play, but in this series,
they probably will. There's gonna be a lot of garbage time.
That's a pretty playoff Marjan is probably gonna emerge in this series. That'll be fun.
Where's Sam Merrill when you need him? He's too busy being a good player.
Cavaliers.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them soon, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you think Cavs or Knicks?
I think Cavs, but I think it's a 6 or 7.
I agree. I'm looking forward to watching it.
And
give me one X factor for the Bucks. One player who, could be insurmountable in preventing Miami from winning any games.
It's Chris Middleton.
Okay,
it's Chris Middleton.
One. Why?
He's whether he is back to like anywhere close to near peak Chris Middleton in terms of his shot making, his ball handling, his playmaking, his shot creation. We've seen him have big games against Miami in the past, in the postseason. We'll see if he can do it again, because if Giannis is cooking like we know Giannis is going to, if Brook Lopez is going to feast like we know he can, if Drew Holiday is going to continue to be that second option for this team, if Chris Middleton has it going, there's no shot. Even if everything goes right for Miami, there's still no shot.
I think Javon is a good option. I think he will be important here. I'm actually going to go Bobby Portis. I think if Bobby has it in every game in this series to some degree, not like 80% has it, but comes in, makes an impact every game, is scoring in double figures, is rebounding in double figures, I just think that's going to be overwhelming for the Heat. I really do. Like, the offense is going to be so consistently there, the rebounding, and even if Miami scores a little bit more in his minutes, I just think if he's able to run off points, Miami's offense won't be able to catch up. So obviously it's implied that the Bucks starters, the non-injured core four, are going to be there and giving it. Of course, Giannis, Brook, as we talked about, Drew Holiday are going to be important. But I think Bobby Portis could really make this I guess we already assume it'll be a sweep, but I think Bobby could really put it out of reach.
There's close sweeps, and then there's absolute dominance. Like, I'd say, like, there's levels to this. Like, Bucks versus Pistons and Bucks versus Heat were different levels.
Different sweeps. Yeah, 100%.
Like, even, like, Bucks Heat was a closer sweep. Like, Bucks Pistons was an absolute annihilation that I have never seen before.
Hopefully we see it again. It'd be fun. It'd be a good way to start the playoff run.
I hope not, honestly, because then you don't want like guys trying to hurt other guys and stuff.
Well, not like that, but I just mean to that level of.
Yeah.
If they win by 80 points, I'll have a great time.
Oh my God, I will be cackling. The start of the post game pod is just going to be me laughing for 10 minutes.
I hope they don't let us down. It's poised if it's such a layoff, but Miami will be tired. They really don't get that much time off before the series starts. It's going to be physical series. Sunday at 4:30. Yeah, weird time. Join us on playback for that.
Yeah, join us on playback for that. What else do we have to say, Si?
I have something big to say.
Oh.
As we record this Friday evening, Brewers are up 5-0 over the Padres.
Oh, my goodness.
After winning last night in dramatic fashion. Fun Brewers season. Go check out Cruising for a Bruisin' for more Brewers coverage. We know Bucks fans are going to be busy. We get it, but would love, if you've never checked out the pod before, if you're a Brewers fan or not, give Adam and Andrew a listen. They have a lot of fun with it. Some bad Brandon Woodruff injury news. Hopefully all is well there. But tune in to Cruising for a Bruisin' and get ready for the Packers season. The draft's in like less than 2 weeks with Talk of the Tundra.
It's crazy how like all these confluence of events. That's why we have GSPN, so we can have all things covered.
Oh yeah. including the Bucks playoff run. Listen, don't get these plugs mistaken. We want you to check out all these shows. Our focus is not wavering. We are going to be all over this playoff run, series previews, game recaps, you name it, playbacks. We're excited for more playbacks this postseason. So join us for a ton of analysis, hopefully a ton of fun. Hopefully, great ending. We'll see. I won't jinx it. I don't even believe in jinxes, but I won't get Jinx Twitter even more mad at us after this whole pod was basically a jinx.
Yeah, I won't bring up what happened the last time the Bucks played the Heat in the first round.
And Atlanta was in that postseason.
Atlanta was in that postseason. Imagine if Atlanta beats the Celtics and then the
would be so funny.
It'd be the funniest thing that potentially has ever happened.
I realized we're winning either way if the Bucks get to the conference finals, because either they don't have to play Boston, or imagine the tweets we can send about Joel Embiid if he fails to make it to the conference finals for an 8th straight season. Was he drafted 2015, 2014?
Or he was Jabari, yeah.
9 years?
I mean, he didn't play the first 2 years. So.
What, we just don't count him?
Yeah.
I guess. All right, well, 7 years?
Because we can still say 7 years, and it's
still pretty funny.
Considerate.
Yeah. We're very considerate of opposing players on this podcast. Noted.
Only if we can use it to our advantage.
We're nice to Tatum.
We are. I mean, he's a likable guy.
Yeah.
Embiid's finally going to cry his way to an MVP. It's great. Damian
Lillard is, did you see my tweet today?
No, I didn't.
He's like, they're moving the goalposts. I quote tweeted, you could talk to a lot of members of the Milwaukee Bucks who could relate about this, Dame. You could talk to him about some other things, too.
You could. You really could.
Something to think about.
These are the most and every time Dame says something that's not, I'm extremely loyal, is just like, ooh.
The funny thing is, he usually will say that also in the interview, but the aggregators just don't pull that. And then the Blazers fans are like, hey,
we know, you tell us all the time.
He did also, and we're like, I don't care about that part.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be a fun postseason. I'm so excited to get started with it.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Ty, we'll have all things covered here at GSPN. Check out all the links at gspn.info. Make sure you join us for the playback for Game 1 Sunday at 4:30 as the Bucks take on the Miami Heat. Good thing about the Heat winning instead of Chicago is you're not going to see like split Pfizer.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe we could get some fandom redemption, but I think this is better.
Yeah, even though it'd probably be better for the Bucks because less travel and that they don't even have to fly.
Yeah, I don't know if they have so many days off. It's not a long flight. We're doing okay, I think.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. You can only play the team in front of you, and the team in front of the Bucks is the Miami Heat.
Hopefully, the Bucks take them more seriously than we did.
Yeah, please. Please, for our sake, please.
We need you guys.
We need validation here. Otherwise, we're screwed. Yeah. This is going on the internet.
Yeah.
We're screwed, please. Now I'm realizing the gravity of what we've said.
We're using
I believe in it. I believe in it, absolutely. But also, it's like if something goes wrong.
Mutuals, DM me for my burner if this goes wrong.
Yeah, join our Discord where we won't get made fun of. You find that link at gspn.info. You can find the playback link as well to join us for the game, and as well as all the other pods here at GSPN. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast platform of choice or watching this on YouTube. Leave a 5-star rating on your podcast platform of choice. Pod random, and we will talk to you after Game 1.